walked up to the company president and said, you know, I have been working here for 10 years, and I have never told you that I think you are a creative genius. You inspire me every day with your creativity. Who you are has made a big difference in my life, and here's a ribbon that says so. You're welcome. Here's another ribbon. Please pass it along. That evening, the company president was driving home, and he was thinking to himself, who could I honor with this ribbon? When he realized it had been a very long time since he had said anything positive or uplifting to his 14-year-old son. So he called his son into the living room. He sat him down. He said, you know, son, most of the time I just yell at you for all the things that you do wrong. But I realized tonight on my drive home that besides your mother, you are the most important person in the entire world to me. You mean everything to me. You make me laugh. You make me love. I don't know what I would do without you. At that, his son burst into tears and ran out the door, causing his father to think that he'd made a big mistake. The boy, however, 5 minutes later, he walked back into the room, and his father noticed that his tears were cleared from his eyes. But his father also noticed that his son was carrying something in his hand. As the boy got closer to his father, the father could see that what his son was carrying in his hand was a gun. The boy looked up at his father and said, Dad, I was going to commit suicide tomorrow because I didn't think that you loved me. Now I don't have to. Please take this from me. That is a true story. It's a true story about the effect that one person has on another person's life just by telling them that they make a difference. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I believe that we would have a lot more peace on this planet of ours that certainly needs more peace if people on a more regular basis were to tell the people around them that they appreciated them. So you all have a homework assignment, and that is sometime between now and the time you go to bed tomorrow night, I want you to tell somebody in your life why you appreciate them. And don't just tell them that you do. I want you to give them a reason. Yeah, I appreciate you because you make me laugh. I appreciate you because you believe in my dream. You help me believe in my dreams. I appreciate you because you're a great listener and you really support me. Give them a reason. Now, to give some of you some practice, to give you some practice in doing this and to give some of you some chance to clear your tears from your eyes, I'm going to have you do this right now with your partner. This is the person you did this little experiment with. Now, some of you just met that person about an hour or so ago. Some of you have known that person for a while. It doesn't matter. We're very intuitive people. I'd like you to tell them something you appreciate about them and make it deeper than I appreciate your eyelashes. And I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do this. The person with the shorter hair of the two of you will go first. Go. Okay, and finish up if you would. Good. How does that feel? Yeah? All right. Great. Let me get your attention. Now, that's a nice heart opener. But you know what? It worked more for you than it even worked for the person that you appreciated. So spend time appreciating people and things. You know, when when our hearts are open, there's a certain actual energy or sound that is made in our hearts. I want you to put your hand on your heart right now and make the sound ah, ah. Can you feel that ah reverberating in your heart? The other sound is ha. Go ha. So what's the ha sound? It's the sound of laughter. Ha 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 ha. So I'm going to show you some pictures that are heart-opening pictures, and I want you to notice the sounds that people in the room make. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to skip through that. There we go. Ah.